Near the cold waters outside Novosibirsk, there is a lake that wakes before the sun. Mist rises slowly from its surface. The air smells of pine and wet earth, and almost every morning a small wooden boat drifts quietly across the water. Inside that boat sits a woman and a bear. Most people who heard the story thought it was impossible, a woman fishing calmly beside a full-grown wild bear. But for Veronica, it was never strange. It was routine. She fished because she had to. Life wasn't easy, and every catch meant food on the table. Archie, the massive brown bear sitting beside her, simply enjoyed being there. Sometimes, when Veronica grew tired of rowing, Archie would lean forward and push the oars gently with his powerful paws, clumsy, careful, almost playful. To an outsider, it looked like madness. To her, it was friendship. But this story didn't begin at the lake. It began in 2019. Archie had been born in captivity inside a failing safari park. When the business collapsed, the owner made a decision. He would release the bear into the wild. "It's the natural thing," he said, but Veronica knew better. "You can't release a captive animal into a world he doesn't understand," she argued. "He won't survive." Archie had never hunted alone, never fought for territory, never learned the language of the forest. The wild wasn't freedom. It was a death sentence. So she stepped forward and did something no one expected. She adopted him. There was only one problem. In Russia, keeping a wild bear as a pet isn't just difficult, it's nearly impossible. Authorities demanded proof. Proof of control. Proof of safety. Proof that the animal wasn't a threat. Veronica refused to give up. If the law needed proof, she would give them proof. She built Archie a wide-open space near the forest's edge. She documented his behavior. She showed how calm he was around her. And yes, she took him fishing. Not as a show, not as a performance, but as evidence of trust. Week after week, they rode onto the lake. The bear sat quietly. The woman fished patiently. The world slowly began to accept what it saw. Authorities eventually declared Archie legally hers, a pet. But Veronica knew the truth. Archie wasn't a pet. He was a soul caught between two worlds. And one quiet morning, that truth would rise from the water. They were drifting gently across the lake when Archie suddenly stiffened. His body tensed. The boat rocked. "Hey, easy," Veronica whispered, grabbing his thick fur. But Archie wasn't restless. He was focused. His eyes were fixed on something beyond the mist, something on the shore. Veronica followed his gaze. At first, she saw nothing. Then the fog shifted. And there, standing at the edge of the forest, was another bear. Still, watching. Archie let out a low rumble. Not aggression, not fear. Something else, something deeper. Veronica felt her chest tighten. The air had changed. The lake was silent. Archie rose slowly inside the boat. And for the first time in years, he didn't look at Veronica. He looked home. The second bear stepped closer to the shoreline. No growling, no dominance, just stillness. Archie let out a deeper sound now, not a roar of warning, but something almost emotional. Veronica's hands tightened around the edge of the boat. "Archie," she whispered. Before she could react, he moved. With one powerful leap, he jumped into the shallow water and began running toward the forest. Her heart stopped. For a split second, she feared a fight. Wild instincts. Territorial rage. But when the two bears met, they didn't clash. They embraced. Massive paws wrapped around each other, heads pressed together. A low rumbling filled the air, not violent, but intimate. It was reunion, recognition, something ancient passing silently between them. Veronica stood frozen, watching. In all the years she had known Archie, she had never seen him like this. He wasn't the gentle companion from the boat. He wasn't the rescued animal she had protected. He was something bigger, something older. He was a bear, and for the first time, she understood. She hadn't saved him from the wild. She had only delayed it. Archie turned once. Their eyes met. No fear, no confusion, just gratitude. Veronica walked slowly to him, her boots sinking slightly into the wet soil. She wrapped her arms around his thick fur one last time. "I'll visit," she whispered through tears, "but this is where you belong." The second bear nudged Archie gently, and without looking back again, he followed her into the trees. The forest swallowed them, the lake returned to silence, and Veronica stood alone, knowing love sometimes means letting go. Not because you want to, but because it's right,